Of those 12 learners who were killed in their scholar transport vehicle yesterday. We're going to take you live now to the scene where the Education MEC, Matome Chiloane, has just arrived. He's at the home of one of the families that have been impacted by this heartbreaking loss. We're just going to let the visuals and sounds speak for themselves.
Okay. We let the cameras in, please. Careful. Careful, careful, careful. Can we make space for the cameras, please? Never mind, journalists.
If you're just tuning in, these are live visuals coming to us. This is the family home of one of the families impacted by yesterday's crash in Merafong. You'll excuse the shakiness of the camera, but a number of journalists are, of course, there, including our very own Zola Sholwana, trying to track the story. The Education MEC, Matome Chiloane, has just arrived now at the home of one of the families impacted. In fact, this family losing 4 children, Zola, in that horror crash in Merafong yesterday. You were telling us earlier the children between the ages of 7 and 12 years old. It's just such a heartbreaking thing to even try to wrap your mind around. Yesterday morning, this was a home that was full of the laughter and the sounds of these children. And just 24 hours later, it's just so completely different.
Yes, indeed, Michelle. It is quite a sad moment. And what we have heard from the uncle of the deceased is that the transport that they used yesterday was actually a new transport, so which means that they were using it for the first time. And he remembers, moments of them leaving, for school and how excited they were for the third term, only to find out that they will not return home. It's quite a tragic time for the family, as we believe that all these kids are cousins, as they belong to 2 sisters and attended the same school. Of course, the media is not allowed inside, as we have to give the family, time to engage with the MEC and also speak about how they would like to be assisted as the family. As you'd understand that this is very hard, for everyone, and it's even worse for this family that has to, find means or make means to bury 4 children at the same time, the youngest being 7 years old and the oldest one being 12 years old. Tomorrow is going to be more difficult for this family and all other families that lost their children in that tragic incident, as they will have to, face DNA tests rather from Latlegeho, as we understand that the proceedings will be starting as early as 8 a.m. tomorrow. It's just going to be a hard week as well, because when we spoke to the district, or rather Merafong municipality, the deputy executive mayor, he says that they couldn't assemble kids at the same time because it was still early for them. And you'd understand these are primary school kids that we're talking about. Some of them are not even aware of what is happening. This hasn't really, they haven't internalized this tragic incident. But as the week goes by, most of them will be aware that their peers or their friends are no longer in the picture.
Yeah, just there really are no words for the story, Zola. The heartbreak that is in that room there behind you. The Education MEC is obviously there to offer his condolences, but hopefully it's also an opportunity for the department to offer some form of help to this family and the other families that have been impacted by this horrific crash yesterday. You said to us earlier that the community had been rallying to try and find the funds insofar as now the ghastly process of trying to lay their loved ones to rest, that the community is also trying to band together to do that. And hopefully this is not just a visit for the cameras, but it's a visit to offer some real help to the families.
Well, certainly, Michelle, you might have heard me mention earlier on that Meraphone municipality has mentioned that about 3 funeral parlors have come on board to lay these children to rest when that time comes, which means that families, have been lifted off, or rather that burden has been lifted off these families, because nobody really prepares to bury their loved ones, especially when it comes to children. We do understand that there's also some psychological support that has been offered to these families by the Department of Education, including teachers that also affected by this tragic incident. We've also been seeing civil organizations also coming to the party, seeing how they can possibly lend a hand to these families so that they understand that during this tragic moment they are not alone. They are backed up by a number of people. But the biggest thing here, Michelle, is that what will happen from now? Are there some lessons that need to be taken in terms of safety of scholar transport? But we do understand that there will be conversations and engagements about such, so that we don't have situations where there's an overload of children in a scholar transport. There has to be regulations that will be emphasized as time goes on. And of course, those are conversations that will be reintroduced after these children have been laid to rest.
Certainly. Zola Sholwana, we're going to let you go and let you keep an eye on what's happening there behind you. And in the next hour, we'll get another update on the situation there where you are in Carltonville. The Education MEC and a contingent of other government officials arriving there at the